Here's another one that's really important. What is your righteousness before a holy God? And the King James Bible, along with many others, all your older versions, it says, to the bride in Revelation 19:8, and to her, the bride of Christ, was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And that's that robe of righteousness
Amen.
that Jesus Christ gave to the thief on the cross, or he gives to the oldest saints lived 70, 80 years faithfully to the Lord. Same robe of righteousness. Well, your NIV, again, your New King James as well, ESV, Dan Wallace's Net version, and your Catholic versions, which fits in right into their theology, it says the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints.
Wow, what a difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference, a huge
Your
difference.
own righteousness.
It's your righteous acts. And that's what your Catholic versions will say. Your
Which
Jehovah's
fits.
Witness, it fits perfectly, yeah.
Sure.
But that's a significant theological difference, and that's just
Huge.
And it's not a variant reading, it's how they translated the passage, the same passage.
And you know, one of the other things when you come to the way it's translated is people. There are new versions of the Bible done every Sunday, and every time there's a message. They're not copyrighted. They're personal. They're personal editions of the Bible, whatever that is, because someone goes to the Greek and they use a lexicon, and then they say, well, this is how it should be translated. Now, there's many ways to translate a word into another language, and as soon as you start to change those words, now you've created a whole new meaning. You've created a whole new version. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes, and that becomes in itself confusion, because now it's not an ESV, it's not an NIV, it's not a King James, it's not New King James, it's that teacher's version.
Right.
Because they change, there is no text that they match up with, they just created it on the spot, on the fly. What kind of religion is this? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it becomes every man is his own authority.
Yes.
And I call it every man for himself, Bible versionism. And I run into people on the internet all the time. They're actually writing their own Bible version.
Yes.
Because you can look up in a lexicon, well, a Greek word or Hebrew word could have this meaning. And so, yeah, I like that one, so I'll put it in there, And you're making up your own Bible version.
And let me say this, Will is not a stranger to language. He has taught Spanish, is that right?
Spanish, I'm fluent in Spanish, and well, I lived in South America for about 6 years, and I've taken a lot of Spanish classes, and then I was a Spanish high school teacher.
So you know...
I know Spanish, and I can read New Testament Greek. I took a class in that, and I followed that, got all kinds of Greek books here and stuff, and so I can read those languages. But the view is that I have of God, they say, well, didn't the King James Bible translators do the same thing? And what I believe is I believe in a sovereign God who is the governor among the nations, and he sees the end from the beginning, and he knew how he was going to use the King James Bible, the English language, how it would become the closest thing to a universal language that we have. And God, I believe, guided the translators not only to the right text, but to how to translate those texts.
Amen.
And I see the King James Bible as a supernatural book. The tie-ins, how one thing will relate to another in the New Testament or the Old Testament. And these, it's like a man couldn't have put this together.
Right.
A man couldn't have written the Bible. You read it and nobody thinks like that. Who would have thought that God himself would come down, take on a body and die in the place of wretched sinners who rebelled against him?
A better plan.